Hey there, and welcome back. It's been quite some time since I've done an overview of my truck and the camper setup on it, and a lot has changed. Some older pictures showing here, but I kind of wanted to run through that and show you my setup now. So under the hood, I'm pretty much stock. I've done very little. I did do a catch can right there, and otherwise the rest is all electrical. I've got a fuse that's going to my battery setup. I'll show you that in a minute. Otherwise, I've got the only other thing I added was electrical, and there's the box for the switch that I have in the cab to turn on and off certain lights. Everything else is all stock here. Starting with the front of the truck, I've done a couple things, but not a whole lot. I'm still on the stock bumper. I do kind of want to get a better, more solid bumper. This one has taken some beatings. You can see here, I definitely take this off-road. Other than that, what I've added to this is actually just a piece of ABS pipe, and I use it for I have a 360 camera and a really long selfie pole, I guess you could call it, and so I can stick it in there and it'll go up like 10 feet or so. I've added this is a little $35 front-facing camera, and it's Wi-Fi, so it goes onto my tablet, so I can see over the front of this big schnoz of a hood. It definitely gets in the way. And then I also have a single row light bar right there that kind of slips right in there. That helps quite a bit. Other than that, I've got in these four corners I added these are the front two of the four corners. I have added these are the basically they go to the air system. They're the ports for that. So I hook up the hoses and even an input one. That's why there's three up here. I'll put a link in the description for these covers on this. Keeps the dust off, works pretty good. Again, you can see another hit that it's taken here. So that's really it on the front. I have added an antenna, though it did break off in going through some trees and bushes. And I do have some spots. These are small lights, and I have them kind of pointed pretty straightforward as spotlights for me. All right, going down the side on the roof, I did buy a thrifty Overland style roof rack. It was like, I don't remember, $50 or $70, and it's just a strap-on type. And then I just added the traction boards so that they're mounted there, and I am going to do a wind fairing on that to kind of help kill some of the noise you get with the campers that goes underneath the camper itself, so it'll shoot it up over the top better. And then also down the sides, I've done my own rock sliders. These have been pretty helpful. You can see right there how scraped up they are. I do need to probably do a different paint job on them. That was just rattle canned. I do have a video on that separate. So then continuing down, I'm going to skip the front for a minute. This is the second door. I've done a full rear seat delete now, and so these are my drawers that I have here, and I keep some stuff in the door, just some odds and ends. So next to here is where I have my Morphlate pump, and then I also, this is the air blower that I use to blow the dust off of the rear end, and I also use it to inflate and deflate the air foam mattress. So on this side of the drawers, I have the Walmart, pretty all self-contained. It's battery operated, uses the same batteries as the Walmart tools, but it's battery operated. Water tank holds 5 gallons, and then I just run the hose out and typically just set it on the rear wheel in that area, and then just use it for spraying or doing dishes off the side here. I've got other water inside. Underneath here's a little bit of a cavity. Right now I've got my, this is a new stove I'm trying out this weekend. It's just a small flip open one. And then other than that, I have some tubs to store some things, and I keep some tools underneath here as well. All right, so in the drawers themselves, now that I have the camper on here, I kind of moved my kitchen stuff to that. Otherwise, this was the kitchen drawer. I kind of lined it so that there wouldn't be any rattles going on, because I hate rattles. Now I typically use it more for my electronics, the drone and cameras and all that I'll put in here. The next drawer up is basically my junk drawer. Everybody's got to have a junk drawer, don't they? This kind of contains everything: mosquito repellents, hot gloves that you can't get burned on. I've got extra batteries, wiring stuff,
extra little propane tanks in case you need it, a first aid kit. Just kind of a little bit of everything is kind of in this drawer. It's kind of like my junk drawer, you could say, but it's all here. The next drawer up is typically this drawer is what my wife Lori uses as her clothing drawer. I just got some towels in there right now. And then the next one up is the drawer that I use for my clothing. So I got that all set up. So and they're pretty deep, so they hold a lot of clothes. On top of the drawers all together, I have this pouch, and inside the pouch is my air up and air down hoses and gauge. So there's 4 of these, 1 for each corner. I hook them up to each corner, and then it just all my hoses are only 3-4 feet long. On the back over here, I have I guess you call it a lanyard, and I use that when I'm filling this water jug down below. I use a this type of funnel, and it's got a clip to it, and I can clip it in there, and it'll hold it in place to be able to fill that via funnel. Otherwise, I use a hose. And then right up in this area is where I store my chairs. That goes there. All right, this is kind of the profile of the Lone Peak camper. The beauty about the Lone Peak is it's 10 feet long. That's why it goes clear to the front door of this. Is a 5.5 foot bed F150 Super Crew. And then it also has that the punch out on the back there, so you get even more headroom and everything in there. That's the beauty of this thing. There's all kinds of room there. You end up with a lot of pass-through space even when your bed's down. You also see I have an OVS 270 awning. It's a 270 plus, so it comes all the way around into the past the front door, and then around the back. I got that as a really great deal as a thrifty Overlander style deal. Got it from a guy who was trying to lose weight off of his Jeep, because those things are 80 pounds, but with this beast it didn't really matter on the weight so much. And the double bonus is the guy I bought it from ended up becoming friends, and we off-road together and stuff like that now, so that was a great bonus. Also, I guess on the side here I'll show you, this is my bag that I use for carrying wood. I love this thing a lot. It keeps it all kind of contained inside. And the inside of it is kind of a rubberized, and it's really heavy duty. I like it a lot. I'll put a description in the I'll put a link in the description. It's a Cougar Outdoors in this case. It was worth every penny for what I use it for. I used to use IKEA bags, but they would kind of shred up and not hold in place. This holds its shape pretty good. My advice though is make sure whatever one you find has this strap here to kind of make sure it's all strapped up tight. You can do where the handles kind of go together, but this strap in the middle helps a lot to keep it all in shape. All right, looking down the passenger side. First off, on the roof of the Lone Peak right now, I've got nothing on there. I went with the white on top because I'm Southwest, and I spend a lot of time in the deserts or quite a bit of heat, and I'm more looking to keep the heat out of the tent rather than in it, so I wanted to go white, and it makes a big difference for how much of the temperature gets in there. Otherwise, down this side it's pretty much the same. Again, with my rock sliders, you can tell these ones have taken a pretty big beating. There's plenty of scratches on them. I even got one scratch that ended up on the top. I got in the rock so bad it even got a little bit of damage there. I'm gonna have to fix one of these days. I also have added this all-top shower tent. It folds out into a square shower tent then, and that's been pretty helpful. We've done that a few times. It's fairly new. I just got it in the fall. Inside right now, I got this set up as if I'm on the road for myself, which I am in this trip. And I have a shelf that just goes in. There's a little slot in the dash, and it just goes into that and then rests against the seat. Right now it's a little bit sloped because I added a battery setup, so the seat is like an inch forward compared to what it normally is. I'll show you that in a minute. So I gotta trim this board down a little bit to make it level. But on this, it gives me down below for whatever I want to put down there. I just got coats there right now, whatever. But then up here, I usually put things that I want to grab quickly or whatever. So I keep my drone right here and those type of things, selfie sticks or this camera or whatever. So that's all right here. All right, the back door on the passenger side. Again, I said I did a full seat delete. So this one's is removed as well on this side. In the door itself, I keep some of the handier tools I need, like some pliers and the lug nut tools and things like that. Just kind of handy. I keep a water bottle there, quick and handy. And then from here, I've gone with this my old cheap Chinese fridge finally died after 4 years, so I've kind of decided to go with an upright fridge. This is a Bodega one that's an 85 liter, and this is the same space that my 52 liter, quart one used to sit in. But this takes less space than that did because I had, the top of that was like here, and I had to have this room to open the lid. Now that room gets filled with the actual fridge itself, so that made room for my battery setup here, and I'll show you that in a minute. So with this is now 85 quart, and it's dual zone. I don't have much in it this weekend. I'm just up here for one night, but it's pretty handy. Now I've got freezer, so that's going to be pretty handy. I like ice cream, so and plenty of ice along. So that's what we got going on with that. So far, this one definitely takes a little more power than the chest type ones, but I've kind of got myself set up for that. It's not a problem. So then back here, I'd have shelves that I built in, different things. This is kind of like down at the bottom here. I've got a saw and a hatchet and the jack that I use to, to jack this up. This area is all tool rolls and tool pouches. I got like a tool roll. This is a pouch that just has all my sockets and wrenches. This is actually the three-way ball I keep in here in case I do end up needing to tow something. Up here, this is the guy wires, or whatever you want to call it, for the awning. I got a jump battery here, a couple of pieces of 4x6 in case I need to jack something up. Back in here, I've got my jack and some other hoses and the kit to repair tires. This is a bag for I'll say bungee cords and that kind of stuff. Some ratchet straps, and then here I've got all kinds of soft shackles and ropes, tow ropes and tree straps and so forth. So I kind of got all my gear that I need here. The only thing not in this area then is the kinetic rope, and I have that kind of back underneath the seat that I get to it by just pulling this front seat up forward. Up here I keep a tub that is strapped in, and that's all my dry goods as far as food is concerned, cans and pancake mix and all that kind of stuff. And then whenever this is just myself this weekend, so I don't need a lot of space of that stuff, but otherwise if I'm camping with Lori or I'm going a couple weeks, I have this move forward, and then I have another box back here that holds more dry goods. All right, so this is right behind the passenger seat, and this is my new power setup. I just kind of added this. This is really like kind of my maiden voyage with this. So down here I've got a 150 amp hour eco-worthy battery that has Bluetooth and low temperature cutoff, and I have added some heat pads to it, and I can and with a thermostat I can then make sure it doesn't get too cold, because you can't charge or below 32, and you can't discharge below 0 Fahrenheit. So that's all in case there. So then I have 40 amp hour or 40 amp I'll say DC to DC charger with MPP3 in it. And so coming from my battery, I've got a 6 gauge that goes into that. This charges the 150 amp hour LiPo battery, LiPo. This is the thermostat. I can turn it on and off as far as doing the heater or not. And then this is a 15 amp just a wall charger. I can plug it into 110 and charge the battery that way. And I've gone with Anderson distribution block, and have kind of done little Andersons for all my connections. So I have like the fridge on this, and a few other things are on here. And then right here is a USB distribution block, you could say. So I can hook up, so like there's 5 USB things, so I can charge batteries on my drone and stuff like that off of that. So that's where I'm at with this right now. I will be running a line from this back into the camper itself. Right now I've just got a separate 500 watt hour Basically, I guess they sometimes call them solar generators, but just a battery. And oh yeah, so here's also where I have the kinetic rope. It stores just fine underneath there. You can see the slot on the dash of the F-150 that I ran that board into. So it sits just into here just fine, and then it just rests against the seat. So then also up front here, I got enlarged cup holders because I use these 40-ounce water jugs. And in here, nothing really special. I do kind of have some minor tools, but mostly like the air gauge and temperature laser and all that kind of stuff. Otherwise, this is napkins and stuff like that. Underneath this seat, I kind of keep, I got an old hammer and a bunch of tent stakes in case I need to stake things down. And then there's like some ponchos for raining and stuff like that. In the door, I got a safety vest. I think this is a little one of those solar or metallic type blankets, and I keep my fire extinguisher there, and I have things like some sunblock and pesticide, and then I typically, even right here, I a lot of times have some wet wipes for quick access. So here is that board sitting out, just so I can move that chair. So yeah, I just had some. This was like some edging from some packing of some sort that came. So I wrapped the board on that and with that so that in the slot it doesn't scratch. And then on this end is just some pipe insulation that I did that goes against the seat so it doesn't dig into the seat. So that's just how this simple board works, but it's been pretty helpful. Again, I only use this when I'm by myself. If Lori's along, then I don't use this at all, and I use the drawer more. All right, in the front door, I've just got some handy gloves, ranch-style gloves for doing dirtier type of things. Of course, I keep a umbrella pretty handy. I've got some flashlights and some Kleenex, I guess, facial tissues, and I keep a kind of a emergency hat right here. Underneath this one, I got under the front seat, I basically have some binoculars, pretty handy. And further back, I have some water shoes and stuff like that I use in case I ever need to, I guess, walk a water crossing. And then this is where I have my ham radio. I kind of just squeeze it in there. It's kind of velcroed into place right now, so that just stays where it is. And then I've got a magnet mount for the for the microphone here. So here's the switch, the pod that I guess I was talking about. That's one of the few things I did under the hood. This is the business end of it to turn on lights, the light bar and the spotlights and all that kind of stuff. So then also, otherwise, I do a couple of tablets in here. So I have like two different mapping programs going at once. Typically, like Google Maps for on the highways, and then Onyx would be running on the other one. That's pretty much it inside here. Kind of got a pouch down there for some glasses because I'm getting old and I need them. All right, so back to the side of the camper. I basically took it out a couple of times, and I get into a lot of scratchy areas. So I ended up putting a wrap, matte black wrap on here, and that's you can see all the scratches in it even on that. So at least the original's a little bit protected. I already scratched it a little bit beforehand. As far as the handles are concerned here, I have these are really great to kind of keep them dust and water out. I love these a lot. These are from Upper Left, I guess it's called. I'll put a link in it for his store on that. It's an Etsy store. All right, so we open it up. It's wide open this way. So this is the interior. I'm going to show you that a little bit more. But on this side, I've got a bench and some cushions along there, and I got a table in the middle, and I'm going to show you all that right off the bat. So for ease of getting in and out, I have these 3 steps from Little Giant. I love these things. They've been really helpful. I had some like step ladder stuff, but these are more like real steps where the step ladder, the steps were kind of on top of each other too much, and these kind of really work as actual steps. It's been really great. I use an old mud flap just to kind of knock some dirt off and keep that a little bit cleaner. On the back, the only other thing I've done is use some HDPE, high density polyethylene on the tailgate. I just found the holes from the original where things were screwed into and screwed into that. so I have a smoother tailgate. And then I just added a strap here to allow me to reach down and grab it to pull this closed. So out the back, you can see here I have that bench I was talking about that goes the whole distance. In the very back here, I've got this is where my trash goes in, but it's also where I store my leveling blocks as well. And then behind here, I've got extra chemical for the toilet. And then this is where I can take the trash out from here and empty it. So then after the trash bin area, then I've got the porta potty. It's electric flushing, pretty handy, and it's definitely helps with if you've got your wife along. I can tell you that a lot, but I kind of gotten used to it myself, especially in the middle of the night. Past that point, it's really a rack drawer for a server rack mounted in there, and underneath that right now is empty. I might put another battery in there, and then all the way up to the very front there is a cupboard that I just stored odds and ends. Right now I've got a little buddy heater in there for when I just need a little bit of heat. On this side I've got the cabinet. I've got a towel bar up at the top there, and that's really it on this side. Other than down here at the bottom, in the front of this side, I've got a 20-pound LP tank, and so then I've just got hoses coming out the back here. So this is where I can just pull this out, and I do most of my cooking right here on the tailgate yet. Even though I have kind of an indoor camper, I still want to camp and be outdoors, so I do most of my camping here unless the weather's bad. So I've got the LP to get easy access for that. On this side, with the door open, basically here you see the back side of the kitchen cabinet. You can see where I have the sink is right there, and the hose is going to that. I did a splitter, so I have another sprayer on this side for spraying, or even possibly using it to take a shower. And this is also where I have that 500 watt hour battery. Get a little bit of 110 and other things out of that. And then you can see further in there I have some toilet paper is where I store that, and I'll show you that from the inside. So here is where I put my paper towel roll here. This is the back side of another server rack drawer. I'll show you that in a minute. And then I just have a shelf. This is the bag I use to cover the to cover the steps whenever they're in there, so it doesn't get dirty. Down here I have my water tank. It's a 7-gallon aquatainer, and I have a little sort of like RV pump next to it, and I just run a hose from the sink into the opening on there, and then just run the pump. The pump's running off that battery there. And then I have a little bit of space here. I do different things. I have used this for I put a bucket in there and put some extra diesel fuel when I was doing the diesel heater, so that the diesel fuel was in a tank, in a regular gas tank or whatever, but it was in a bucket in case something went wrong. And then typically right here, even I have in this area, I have my a small shovel that goes in through here and stays inside. So I don't really have a good place to mount it on the outside. You can see a little bit of the construction. The top of it's like a little over an inch thick. It's a couple pieces of thicker plywood, and I did some angle iron stuff that I had sitting around to kind of strengthen a little bit. And then here is another the fourth chair that we have. So that's, they're basically sitting right across from each other and using the table. So this is a nice little another fourth seat. All right, let's go on in and take a look inside. Basically, you can see from the outside what we have going on here. This is I guess they call them, I can't remember the name of these type of tables, but they're Luan, I guess, is kind of how that was, like one of the name brands. So it swivels and turns all different ways, and I store it over onto that side whenever we're traveling, so it doesn't bounce around at all. I also added another towel bar using the T-track, and then on this side is the the kitchen sink area. I've got just a small sink. I can put links for my purchases on this. And then the faucet I have, it's hot or cold. I only got cold right now, but it basically swivels, goes up and down, swivels. It sprays or straight, and this it goes up and down. I could even spray it off the side here if I needed to, and then just run it that way. That was actually a Temu order. I use an old kind of piece of plastic tub that I just kind of attached in there, so I keep my soaps and sponges and stuff like that there. So then down on this part, I've got this cupboard here. This opens up. This is the other side of the sink, and this is our easy access to the toilet paper. And then I got drawers. All our kitchen stuff is here. So silverware, some cups, bowls, and that one. Second. This one. I've got some plates. I use stainless steel plates that also serve as pizza pans. I got some other things here, some paper plates. This is an extra stove in case I want to just heat water up inside, and then the pot. Okay. The next drawer is where I keep my pots and pans. I have a silicone expanding pot if I want to do like spaghetti type thing, and then there's a couple of skillets, I guess you could say. This is the AeroPress coffee maker for when my wife's along. I don't drink coffee. And I got some aluminum foil in there and some hot pads as well. And the bottom drawer is a little bit of a kind of like a sort of another junk drawer in a way. Kleenex in here handy. This is some of that fuel for that stove. Otherwise, the rest of this is like a ceiling fan that hangs. It has a light as well. This is a hanging light. I got my O2 or CO, carbon monoxide detector I'll put up. And then I got lights. I'm going to kind of been using these battery powered ones, but I'm going to change that out and put a regular light strip in now that I got power going on here. But otherwise they're just some small, easy to access handy lights and stuff like that. And I have like a string of wind up twinkle lights to hang outside as well in here. So that's all kind of kept there. I typically have flashlights and my headlamps and everything in here too, so I know right where they are and I can grab them pretty easy. So then also next to that is the big cabinet, another towel bar here, and inside here is basically this is the water jug and the empty space next to it, and then this is our access to the paper towel, and then this is just a smaller drawer for it's a server rack drawer is what it is, and this is kind of where we do bath stuff and everything because it makes it handy with the bath right by the sink. And then in the camper itself, I don't know, it's not very wide, but you can kind of see how this has a bar that goes up off of the back to make that punch out so it goes out, so it gives you a lot more nicer headroom up in here. It's got this mesh across here so that when the bar is down, this mesh kind of goes across this open space that wouldn't have anything in it otherwise, and all the material from the camper itself, the tent part, comes down and sits on this mesh so that it doesn't droop down into the space down below. I got one window open here. You can kind of get an idea of the how spacious it is and everything. I'm 6'2" and I can reach up to like 8 feet, and I'm still 2 feet from the peak, so there's plenty of room. It's really pretty high for that. I keep a couple of things here. This is like some really thin blackout material. I just store it up here, and I got Velcro along the front here and on the back window as well. So I hang up some blackout material in the two windows. And with that, this is almost pitch black in here. It's great. I like darkness. And then this is actually some Cordura. It's got Velcro down the sides. And actually, because this is like a kitchen area down here, kitchen stuff in these drawers, you can see the Velcro down that side. I have more down here. I put that extra layer of protection over the drawers just to make sure there's less or likely to be any dust intrusion in those drawers, because that's our eating utensils and stuff like that. And that seems to help some. I do have a little bit of dust intrusion yet. I'm still working out a few little spots for that. Also, I guess I can't open it because it's not a hinge, but this is the cabinet right now that's got the 20-pound LP in it down below the seat. And I got a couple other things in there, but eventually I either want to mount another second battery back here, or maybe I'll mount the my Morphlate pump back here and just have it piped into the plumbing, the air plumbing I already have in the system, so I don't even have to get anything out, just the hoses. Okay, so basically, you can just all you got to do then for bed is just pull this down and you're there. I'm using it's a large size. This is basically a air foam mattress. So I open this up and open the valve. It's a two-way valve, so it only goes. And then I pump a little bit of air into it to get it thicker and firmer. And then I suck the air out using that same air blower that I was showing you earlier, so that this is all thinner and I can leave my bedding on here. So I use regular bedding. I have a sheet. I have a blanket, and then in the colder time I got we use some throw blankets, and then kind of got a Mexican blanket on top of that. So all that's able to stay on here. I do not keep my my pillows in here. That I keep in the cab. One of the reasons is because, again, a little bit of dust intrusion, and it's just not, they would have to be down below, and they would basically end up anywhere. I have done 1/2 inch insulation on the roof of this. I just did Velcro so I can take it down if I ever need to, and I just kind of put some some of the, because this type of carpet is just industrial type carpet from Home Depot, and it works great for putting Velcro stuff on it, so I kind of put that up there. I kind of did that a little bit for insulation for heat or cold, and a little bit because in some situations you kind of get a little bit moist from all your breathing all night long. So the beauty of these type of campers is that it does give you a space to go to if you do need to get out of weather. I like to camp, so I'm outside most of the time, but it sure is nice to be able to go in there. Recently we were at Alabama Hills. It was cold and windy, so it was too windy to have a fire, and we ended up, there was 4 of us on the trip, and we ended up just basically going inside and sitting around having some drinks and playing some games on the table. Just worked out great. So there's plenty of room for 4 people in here. Not a problem at all. So that's kind of the beauty of these campers, is you're able to utilize your bed as kind of like, I guess you could say like a pickup camper, only it's a lot more lightweight and easy to deal with, and customizable. I made it the way I wanted it. As far as suspension's concerned, basically I've got Bilstein 6110s, I guess it is, in the front, so it includes a heavier duty coil, and it's set for a couple inches higher to kind of give me a level. And on the rear, I added a leaf a while ago because this truck has got a lot of miles on it, and they were fairly used leaves, so I didn't add a leaf. And then since I've added the weight of the camper on here all the time, I just added which is this road active suspension piece in here. This is my really first trip with that. I'm up here at Thomas Mountain, and that seemed to have made quite a bit of difference. I mean, obviously the thing I was after was to get rid of some of the sag, and from the weight of the camper and everything I put in it, and it definitely brought it up about 1.5 inches in the back. So I'm now got a tiny bit of rake. I'm back to where I want to be on that. And then it also is supposed to help keep your wheels grounded better. So like wheel hop and all that's supposed to be taken care of a little bit. And I think when you're off-roading, it kind of grounds your wheels a little better. So with this big of a beast and top heavy as it is, really what you're doing when you're in rocks and stuff like that is you're managing your bounce a lot. You can go over things no problem, but you get bouncing, and that's when you start hitting underneath and so forth. So I believe from what I can tell already on this trip, these road active suspensions keeps the wheels on the ground a little bit better and manages the bounce and the sway quite a bit. So that's been pretty helpful. I think it's going to be worth it. I got it on Black Friday sale. It was like $120 off, so it was only 400 and something, and added some good helper spring basically, and took away some of my sag on the back. On the very back below the tailgate, I just use this for it's in the hitch as a recovery point, and then this is where I've added on the 4 corners. This is where I've added the other 2 places to add air hoses. So there's one on each side. So I just go from here to the back tire. All right, so that's been a pretty thorough walk around on this setup that I have right now. There's a few things I'm still looking at doing. I mentioned about adding another battery maybe. I'm looking to figure out how to do hot water. So it's kind of, I can either do like a solar dump thing or maybe even get one of the little water heaters or something like that. I kind of trying to decide the best way to do it. I'm also thinking of different ways to do the water bladder. There's some space up underneath the truck, even above between the bed and the spare tire. There's even a spot there that I might see about putting a water bladder in to hold water down low like that. So that's really where I'm at right now. There's always projects. That's kind of what I like about this. Everything's a project to me. There's no chore in making these things for the truck or anything like that. It's like a hobby, or it's fun. So I like to tweak it, even when I've tweaked tweaks already. So there's no stopping in that. So this little camp out, I'm just doing a one-nighter out here. We're out of Thomas Mountain, and this is a great camp spot here with a nice view and everything. So I'm loving this. Hey, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, I'd really appreciate it if you hit that like button and subscribe. We'll see you on the trail.